Hey you guys, I know that it has been a minute since your girl has came on and went live. Had any type of conversations like one on one with anybody. And I know some of you are not here yet, but when you do see this, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share because I have been working through my journey of being pregnant along with being off of my bipolar medication. I am not taking any of my anxiety medications. Um, the only medication that I'm actually on, which is to protect the baby, is my high risk. Doctor recommended for me to be back on high blood pressure medicine due to that I'm at risk for preeclampsia. Um, and I'm on two different types of nausea medicine. So I'm on Zofran and I am on a really long D one that is basically Unisom mixed with B6. Originally, they had me taking the Unisom mixed with B6 by itself. I was taking that two at night and one in the morning. No help. Your girl was like still throwing up 6 ways from Sunday. Baby was not allowed. Like I couldn't even drink water, okay, without gagging or throwing up. And I love water. I'm not really a big drinker on a lot of stuff. Um, we are 17 weeks this week. So I'm going to go back and kind of recap everything that's been happening from the moment that I announced that I was pregnant to you guys until now, and just different things that they've put me on and things like that. So, um, shortly after I found out I was pregnant, I went back to work, to my regular job. Um, and that is a very high stress environment. It is a fun job to have, but it is working with people and can be a little emotional and stressful. So, being off of my bipolar meds has been interesting because I am way, way more emotional than I normally am. So, things that normally would not be as much of a stressor for me or a trigger have been absolutely being that. I have been very short, not intentionally. It's been more like my personality is on 12. So, being back at work and being pregnant was becoming a big hassle because I went from working at home for the last 4 years while we've been working on the pregnancy, getting pregnant on a pregnancy journey, to being back in the building in November and having to get up and go out in the cold and the changing weather here in Georgia, and having to be around people. So I do also suffer from social anxiety. Um, and that's something that I developed in my 30s. I previously had been a dancer, adult entertainer in my past life. So people were like my life, you know. Working at a call center with the huge volume of people was very much my life pre the big C word, right? Um, so shortly after I turned 30, I started having these social anxieties. Like I would still go places and do things, but I wouldn't really want to. um, and I would find myself being more and more uncomfortable around people. So that has been a struggle with the social anxiety and trying to accommodate that. And then now with me being pregnant and a lot of friends being like, "Oh, I want to touch the baby, or I want to see you, or and I'm excited. Like I'm super okay with the touching of the baby, even though like it creeps me out emotionally. I know that they're just showing me love, so I try to stay calm and breathe and work through my exercises. But I ended up getting sick uh, 3 times from being back in the call center from mid-November up until I just got over being sick the second week in January. So this is January 18th of 2024 that we're doing this video, and I had caught the flu mixed with me having strep, along with me having a respiratory virus and a sinus infection all at one time, and being pregnant with a very high risk and difficult pregnancy. Um, So the first time I got sick, I just thought it was a cold. I didn't think anything of it. And part of it, I was like, well, maybe it's the baby because I had been running fevers on and off, all kind of crazy stuff, which I used to get those with my periods because I do have fibroids and I do have cysts. So I thought that the fevers that I was having was like associated with my fibroid or associated with the pregnancy and the pain, um, only to find out that I was sick. Um, I kind of wrote that one out, talked to my doctor about it, kept on a lot of fluids. Then about 2 weeks later is when I caught the flu. And that time I caught the flu by itself. Um, and I was down for like a week and a half, still having to try to work. At that point, they did let me work from home a couple of days, but I was at work sharing desk. Um, so I was having to touch other people's stuff, things like that, and that was like really tearing my anxiety like to pieces, like right, considering that there are still viruses going around and pregnancy, especially when you've done IVF, you've had to do so many hormones that your immune system is broken down a lot more than the average pregnant person. So everyone that gets pregnant, generally, their immune system gets torn down because the body is protecting the baby. So you as the person um, tend to become a little more sickly. um, Time number 3 was the actual flu, strep, respiratory sinus infection situation. I was down for a total of 3 weeks with that. Um, so as you can imagine, from me announcing my pregnancy in October up until the first week in January, actually second week in January, I had lost almost 20 pounds. Um, and in a lot of cases, just due to pregnancy alone, people lose about 15 to 20 pounds their first 2 to 3 months. I recently have started maintaining my weight a little bit more. I have been doing smoothies. I still throw those up, but I can keep down more of that than the food sometimes. I'm learning that the baby likes and prefers to eat in the evenings, which is crazy because I'm up at the crack of dawn in the morning. So I have to eat something, and generally I am having morning sickness like all day, all the time. Um, it's been fun though, because like I've had all these doctor's appointments. Emory has been great, like absolutely hands down from the 4 year journey of us doing IVF and trying, or not IVF, I'm sorry, IUIs, intrauterine inseminations, because I am a lesbian. Uh, with me doing that for those journeys and then finally getting pregnant with the first IVF, um, it's been a whole experience. The like from the fertility doctors to the reproduction doctors to the OBs to maternal fetal medicine and high risk. I see so many doctors, it's crazy. I have like 4 appointments the first week in February alone. And then just different specialists. I have to see the pulmonary specialist as well because I am asthmatic, and with all the sickness that I've had, we've got to make sure that the lungs are still good and everything. The blood pressure medicine is working, so I'm maintaining my blood pressure. Um, when I got sick with the cold is when I actually went to the emergency room. The emergency room was like, "Oh my God, your blood pressure is super like high," and I'm like, "I know my blood pressure gets high when I'm in pain and I'm not feeling good, so like that's normal, that's expected." Um, but with the baby, that can trigger preterm, that can trigger preeclampsia, that can lead to so many earlier things that can not be good for baby. And so I broke down and was like, okay, fine. We'll go ahead and we'll get on blood pressure medicine. Although I had been off of meds for almost 2.5 years for my blood pressure. So that was a journey, because I want to minimize the amount of medicine that I'm intaking through my pregnancy, which is why I'm not taking my bipolar meds or my anxiety meds, or even my muscle spasms, because I do have a bulging disc between my L4 and my L5. So I was already like going through a lot physically before the pregnancy. But this was my dream, was to have a child, and I was lucky enough to be at 38 finally have my IVF go through. And I feel like it's a gift from God. So I'm super excited. We've done a lot of ultrasounds. I have did some shorts and videos on those as well, through the page. So definitely feel free to subscribe so that you can see those things. Um, I spent my first 12 weeks literally day and night, just like I'm like in the middle of a work call, like, oh my God, no, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, no, I need to, like, morning sickness has been like all day sickness for me. Um, I'm just so blessed that we made it to 17 weeks. And to see this change, I've been feeling the baby move around and feeling the baby since the beginning. I'm hypersensitive to my own body because I am an empath. Those of you who know that follow my tarot readings, um, I meditate. So I've done a lot of self healing prior to getting into the pregnancy, and working with therapists, which is something that they do when you have to do IVF. You do a whole evaluation just to make sure that you're kind of ready and how you're going to discuss the way that you conceived your child with the child. And I guess that part wouldn't be so hard for me because I've raised other children with my first spouse, and then also helped co-parent with my second spouse, that were in the past. And all of those children are grown now, but we had to have you have two mommies conversations. And so I think that when it comes to the IVF conversation, I will be more aware, and will be able to relate a little bit more with the child about that. My partner does know the gender. I am divulging from wanting to know the gender just yet because it's my first biological. And I want to do like the whole baby mama thing and have like a whole gender reveal and baby shower, all of the above. I want to be able to literally like have the whole first mom jitters, right? Um, let's see, being that I had lost so much weight, we I've spoken on the doctor recommending the smoothies for me. Doing those a couple times a day, adding peanut butter and protein, different nuts and kale, and I love fruit already as it is, so that just sealed the deal for me. And even though sometimes I can't get through them all without getting sick, the moment I'm finished getting sick, I brush my teeth and I go right back to trying to eat. My partner thinks I'm crazy for it, but I want to make sure that the baby is getting what the baby needs and that I'm getting what I need. I have been extremely tired. Like, I've been pregnant before, and I did miscarry at a very late stage in my pregnancy, nearing my 7th month mark. So it was very tough, but I was very young. And so the doctors have me like on a super watch for it. And sometimes I wonder if the fact of that early miscarriage played an even bigger part on why like I was so driven for the IVF and for me to have a baby. Um, but I think me being a mom has been something I've always wanted to do, like my whole life. Like most people have dreams about being a wife and getting married, and I had dreams about having a baby, about being a mom. Um, those are kind of like my life goals. And I want to give this baby every chance it can to be great in life and to be strong. The baby is definitely a fighter. The baby moves around all the time. Like, we're in ultrasounds and they're like trying to get like little certain positions or images, and the baby's all like, nope. Nope, gonna kick my leg up over here. And so I get to feel the baby like almost 24 hours a day, moving around, flipping. Most people don't even start feeling it till they're at 17, 18, 19, and 20 weeks, with their first pregnancy. So this has been pretty cool because I don't remember half of these things with the younger pregnancy. Of course, I wasn't seeing the doctors like that, and I was in a way very, very worse place at that time with my mental health. So I had not been getting, like, I had been having therapists, but wasn't really opening up to the work of therapy. I was young at that time. So now that I'm older and I'm going through this pregnancy, it's like I've never been pregnant before. So this is like a whole new ball game. Um, and learning myself this way. So I do pregnancy meditation, sleeps so that I can sleep at night. And the last, I say week, I've been finally sleeping through the night, because before that I was getting up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and not getting back to bed to 5 or 6 and having to be at work at 7, 7:30. And when you're already exhausted from being pregnant and having to get up and do all of those, go to work, after you've been awake throughout the middle of the night because you can't find a comfortable position, or you've got to go pee 5,000 times. The like back to back every 5 minutes urges to pee has slowed down, but I'm still at like a every 30-minute interval. I'm always thirsty, always hungry, and sometimes the baby just won't let me eat. Like, now that they have me doing the Unisom B6 mixed, where I take that 3 times a day, and then I take the Zofran as needed, and that's helped, but nothing has stopped it. In order for me to eat or to have any type of appetite, I do prefer to have medicinal smoke or medicinal herbs that my doctor does know about. They want me to be cautious of where I'm getting it from, things like that. So I'm looking into getting a medical card, because medicinal purposes is legal where I am. So I just need to figure that part out. But who knows if they'll give me one while I'm pregnant. But that's the only thing that really helps me eat or sleep. But it's been fun. I mean, like, you get to feel them move, them kicking and moving around, and I get motion sickness when the baby like does flips and stuff. But that was fun to watch in the ultrasound. The first time I got to hear the heartbeat, I cried like a baby. It's my miracle child, What else? I do go 2 hours to my appointment, and some of my appointments are almost 2 hours long. I have a full anatomy check coming up in about a week. Excuse me, my allergies. And that's where they do this like hour-and-a-half scan of all of the baby's bones, their fingers, their eyes, making sure that all of the baby's portions are there, and that the baby is safe and growing. The last check we did was about a week ago, and the baby was at 5 ounces already. So we are starting to gain weight back, which I'm extremely excited about, because that was my biggest scare, losing all that weight and it like affecting the baby negatively. But I am like the research guru. Like, I literally will sit and watch videos. I go and look at WebMD. I'm constantly emailing and messaging my doctors. I probably get on their nerves, but for me and for my anxiety, it helps a lot for me to have answers to the things that I'm feeling. At this point, the groove in between where, like, right above my pelvis and my, I guess, uterus, the stomach area within, where the crease is for your, like, your thighs to your legs, right? Hip area, yeah. In the inner groin area, that area is starting to widen out. The muscles are getting tighter. I think they call those like some type of ligament muscles. But they start to grow and stretch to hold your uterus in, and you feel that. I feel it. It feels like muscles are tearing sometimes, or like I pulled a muscle. And I can't wait to hold my baby. I absolutely cannot wait. So that has been week literally well, technically 2 weeks, because I was about 2 weeks when they confirmed. 2 through 17. Like, I was very, very sick a lot. I did a lot of in the bathroom and always. Um, my life partner has been super supportive. You know, she helps with the house cleaning because every smell, everything like makes me nauseous. Cleaning supplies, just me moving or standing too long, I get dizzy. That has been something that's been very heavy. Is my dizziness for getting up, sitting down. My tailbone hurts if I sit for too long. I can't walk very far or very long already. And I get really tired and winded when practically doing nothing. So I'm hoping the further we get along in this pregnancy, I will be able to get back to doing life and household duties because I do not want to become a creature of habit of not being able to do things. Or just being lazy because I don't believe in that. So that is my full update, everything that's been happening. How have I been feeling? I don't know if you can see little baby bump. Let's see if we can see it through what I got on. Oh, yeah, you can. Hold on. Put that like that. So, yeah, this is our 17-week baby bump. And my boobs have gotten so much bigger and heavier. But yeah, that's baby. That is baby all in there. So, I am waiting and excited for this baby bump to get bigger. You guys, if you have any advice or questions or just anything, please feel free to comment because I have gained such a even tighter knit with my friends that are parents and my community here on YouTube, my Facebook community. People have been swarming my inbox with all kind of things, and I truly appreciate it. All the comments, all the help, you know, all the suggestions to help with the nausea, because you guys have been my lifesavers. So I want to thank you guys. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and share. This is just really my personal experience with this and how it's been going for me. I think everybody's journey is different. And so I think it's good for us all to share our own journeys and opinions so that if other people are feeling like how you're feeling, they know that it's normal and it's okay. I have not had any deep depressions where I just feel like, oh, I'm over this, or, you know, I haven't been in a bad place. And I think that the pregnancy hormones themselves have kind of helped balance that out. And I'm wondering for how long, you know, how long before I have a really bad manic episode. Or if my temper is going to stay the same. Because I've been shortly mean. Unintentional. Like, it's crazy because, like, I want to be held, I want to be touched, but then the moment someone touches me, I'm like, so, yeah. But I'm working through that. I've been talking to my therapist about it, and she's okay with me being off my meds as long as I'm honest, and I am telling her how I'm really feeling and not masking because I'm really good at that. She's been very helpful through this process. So I would say anybody that is on meds and you're wanting to get pregnant or you're wanting to go through this journey and you're just not sure because you're afraid of what your life is like off of your meds. That was a very scary decision for me, but it was an important one for my child overall. So I made the big decision. It is possible. Again, I'm bipolar, PTSD, anxiety, social anxiety, extreme obsessive compulsive disorder. So my body is like, my body and my mind are going through a lot of changes at one time. And I just am glad that I have the right support team all the way around the board to get through this. So I thank you guys and thanks for listening. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and keep following so you can keep up with what's going on with me and little baby. I love you guys. Be safe out there.